All right, so I'm coming back with one. I think I might get just about to wrapping up this series, but what I really wanted to go with this series is one is just to appreciate that a lot of life is really what we call electrical. A lot of life is way more than we might appreciate, and not the least of which the activity of our body, the chemical activity in transactions within our body, no less than mentation, cognition, ideation, thought processes, conscious, subconscious, superconscious, unconscious, is highly, it can be appreciated bluntly, crudely, grossly in what's called electrical terms. It may be a better, it's more an analogy to electricity. It's probably deeper, more sublime, more subtle, more profound than what we're referring to and understand as electricity. But for an analogy, it could be appreciated as electricity. And from that, it would, most of what we do appreciate, but similar to electricity no less. And a lot of electricity requires grounding. And I think that might be some of our feet are function like that, and our feet are unique as human beings, but also as primates, and also thinking is unique as primates. But you could almost say that I wonder if you would correlate the differences and distinction between primates. So like your gorillas, I don't know if it's macacoons, baboons, chimpanzees, human beings, and your different gorillas. I wonder what would happen if you correlated their thinking to the distinctions within them to the distinctions within their feet. If you could appreciate a trend or a correlation within the feet, and I would think that maybe the feet of human beings would be unique within the primates, in some way, not better or less, but unique among the primates. And I was floating an idea like this in front of a really cool person that I know that works in the general public, serves the general public where I live, and he was saying that's true enough, but the reason that our feet may be unique, it comes from the fact of our tweet that we are or have been tree dwellers is a lot of our feet. So I think that if you appreciate one of the things that separates, so it's been said by Arthur Avalon that the word man might come from, I think it might be, I don't know if it's Saktiman or it's a Sanskrit word that refers to thinking. A lot of English is a very appropriated and borrowed, and at some points it can be maybe called bastardized language. I appreciate English as more of a dialect than a language, and also a little bit of a shorthand and even a pidgin dialect. If you look at how much has been amalgamated into it, how much it's spread abroad and been diverse and just been useful as a shorthand in a way of bartering between broad cultures that have experienced English culture, would be the English language. But dang, I a little bit lost my train of thought with that. Um, but what I meant to say is that at least it can be appreciated that our feet are very sensitive, no less, and they rest upon the earth. That might be what connects people. So you have different people that you've loved in your life, that you really loved, that would as soon have nothing to do with you. You have people that you have feared. You have people that have feared you, that have loved you, that you would have nothing to do with. But it's said that we're all connected in this life. How so are we all connected? One is at least our breathing, because we all share the air. We can't say that we don't share air. But then also we're connected by the fact that our feet are upon the earth, and that's our connection to the feet and to each other, which are still the earth. So as much as you love a person or fear a person or can't stand a person, we're still yet connected as our feet are upon the earth, and our feet are very sensitive, if not a grounding mechanism for our very mental processes and mentation and cognition and ideation that would allow us to love, fear, or having difference toward another person. In that life, a lot of life, according to Arthur Avalon, is a feature and function of attraction and repulsion. Is not possible without the dynamics and the buoyancy and the vacuum that's sustained and created by the dynamics of attraction and repulsion. So you could almost say that all of your dealings in life since the point where you were a child, and maybe some students some children had a crush on you when you were a child, and some children couldn't stand you when you were a child. You were the same with other people. Same with adolescence, same with high school, same with life, which is still high school, I think. Same with retirement homes, which is still high school, I think. with this whole point, you could actually appreciate all that simply in terms of attraction and repulsion. This one's attracted to that one, this one's repulsed by that one. But even on the chemical level, that's actually occurring where you have I think the type of bonding that you have in chemistry, you would have like ionic and covalent bonds. And a covalent is when there's actually a sharing of electrical of chemical material, like an electron. And then an ionic bond is when the actual differences between something, so like the similarity, but also the differences between something, things being opposite. Like when they say opposite attracts, opposites attracting is true in human romantic terms, but it's as true in chemical terms. And sometimes the actual proximity of things and things sticking together, staying together, is a function of there being different polarized opposite. So you can't entirely dispense with attraction and repulsion. And sometimes attraction is actually a function of repulsion, and repulsion is exactly a function of attraction. And the dynamics with that are what make life diverse and viable. Um, but um, but so you can almost appreciate almost anything just simply in terms of attraction and repulsion. Um, but um, but but our feet are yet connected, and I think that we have that connection to the earth so long as we live. Even were we to fly in an airplane, we have something of a sensation of being grounded on an airplane, because the very fact of us being up in the sky is yet it's a function of what has been done with our feet and other people upon the earth. So even as you're up in the sky, what goes up must come down. And so you're very in the skyness, you're very you're the fact that you're in the Mile High Club, you're up there, but your feet are still connected to the plane and the momentum that you left the earth with, and the causation of what gave you the ability to purchase a ticket, board a ticket, have a plane filled with jet fuel, and then take off within the parameters and the limitations and the effects and benefits of aerodynamics. All that is still a function of when you had been on the earth. So you are still yet grounded to a degree as a function and feature of the momentum that you're in the air with. But then one slight deviation to that might be something like skydiving. Now, I have not experienced skydiving, but I have actually went on there's some of these rides that will go up like a needle slowly and then drop you down fast, or they'll go up fast and then you'll be suspended up there like with the momentum. And one time when I was a young person, I was with a friend of my brother and a friend of mine. We were all at a fair together, and my brother, I think, and my mother were on the earth. And I sounded like an alien. My mother and my brother were on the earth. And so we go up really fast like that. And that time, that was the first time that I bore a cross publicly, because it's part of me publicly making affiliation with when I was becoming spiritual. I no longer bear a cross, but I bear this. But it was my first time being open about developing spiritually. And that friend with me was a unique person who came from a very a neighborhood, an environment that people would say would be very rough. And he had experiences that would be part of that. And he was one of the most enlightening and brilliant and mature people at a young age, while barely an adult. And he taught me, one time I would say like, man, I don't want to be too serious in life. And he's like, do you know how serious they are about building those prisons? He would tell me stuff like that. But he encouraged me in my walk in faith at that time. But he had shortcomings too. But that was part of me being open about approaching faith at that time. And while doing so, we're in a ride that goes up really fast like that, and you're suspended. And just at the cusp of going up into air, and then before gravity caught up with us, I had a friend that I mentioned on this channel whose father was Native American, and he was telling me about a different ride in a different part of the country where it's something about you go up so fast in it that you actually are suspended from gravity. You lose track of gravity. So if you had a coin and you release it at the top of that ride, the coin will flip with you as though you're in outer space, yet you're still within the atmosphere of the earth, and you're near about earthbound. But from that something about that seamless, it's still within momentum and with the dynamics and the limitations of being earthbound in gravity. But for a moment, you have the sensation of being suspended, and that was one of the most brilliant, enlightening experiences of peace and understanding, to be with my close friend, who was a good influence, and my brother's close friend right there. There's something of peace and enlightenment in that moment. And what I came to appreciate is that even at that moment, so we're always grounded to the earth in one another, but when we lose track of our grounding to the earth, we experience our grounding to the broader universe, and the Earth's own grounding is a function of that grounding to the universe. That might be what's so cool about skydiving. In moments of losing sensation of gravity, is you experience the deeper grounding that is yet informing the more terrestrial grounding of us being connected as being part of the Earth.